so it should be online. Okay. Right. So this is the alpha build so far. This is probably going to be a relatively short stream. I should turn the volume down as well. Ooh. Yeah. So right now, I'll just add some general aesthetics. So you can say this is the score that you could get if you win. So for example, it adds it in. You get this much, and up here we've also got a potential gold factor. It's sort of a little bug at the moment that it's not resetting, but so for example if I win now, I lost, but if I win, I could have got 100 gold. And for some reason that red screen, let me just check it. Alright. It's clearly over the boundaries of the whole thing, but for some reason it's not, adding that extra bit on the end. What if we just make it huge? Like this. Let's try that again. Yeah, so I guess it looks right now. No. Oh, I see. I see. So when it moves down, it looks like it's rotating or something. Let's just see what's going on there. Yeah, it's moving. Okay. Is there no way to lock it? If we do that, even though I would have thought if you stretch it, it would have stretched the whole screen, but so what I'm thinking is this won't do much. If it does, happy days. But if not, oh well. Yeah, it's still moving. And you're saying if I make it bigger, it's still going to do it? Yeah, you see what's going on there? Did you see that? I made it bigger, but the thing just... If I make it static, then, because normally that means objects can't be moved, but I don't know if that's the same for UI components. Yeah. Why does it do that though? Why does it move? This is kind of stupid. Let's take it off static. Let's just find the code for it. Survival. So if we have attacked, do this after half a second, which sets this to true, which I should probably turn off as well, otherwise it's going to run it over and over. We go to have died. Which is here. So we've died, reset the bonuses, reset the score and everything. But it's even before that, it's just moving. Maybe I can just add a piece of code to move it back before I set it to active. So what's this thing at the moment? Moved it out of the canvas. What happened? Yeah, obviously nothing. Well, I'll fix it later. Right now, I've got better things to implement. Just put that on the back burner. So, yeah. So I thought of this thing to add, which is basically an added feature for increasing gold. Because at the moment, you basically get, can I survive? You get 100 gold for every 1,000 score that you have. If I can just rack this up to show an example. We've got our chain bonus here. Right. So we've got 1,400, which means we've got 100 gold. This potential gold is currently glitched, it's supposed to say 0, because we haven't rolled anything yet. 600, so now this will add 600 here, which means exactly. My potential gold is 200, but it should be 100 because I've only gone up 1,000 more, so that's currently a little aesthetic glitch. But I was thinking of sort of, because the game's called Gambler's Descent, so I thought maybe add in this feature called Golden Descent, which is just a name really, but it's basically going to be a meter, and the more you survive and the higher score you get from that survival, the meter moves up, and then once that reaches full, you begin your Golden Descent, which sort of guarantees survival and sort of doubles your gold income. And then that's like another way to increase your gold, increase your income, so you can buy characters and items and things like that. And gives just something extra for the player to work towards, to be honest. So that's not boring. So that's one thing I'm gonna add. And another thing that I should do first are sort of unlockable items. So basically what I wanted to add was lives. So these are things that you can find in the labyrinth just by chance, but also I'm going to do it probably every 10 survivals you get a guaranteed item. So I did think of, alright, let's take a look, I've got them here. So yeah, lives is one, obviously. Another one is loaded dice, and this will be for only the left dice, because otherwise it's a bit too like pay to win, if you know what I mean. Because the left one influences your score, influences your survival, see, and then this right one influences your score, so it's like a score multiplier. So this loaded dice will only be for survival. So when you get it, you can declare which number you want it to be. So if you wanted an easy ride, you could just set it to 6, and then your survival will be much higher. Or if you're looking to get a bigger high score and get on those leaderboards, then you're going to want to have it as like 1 or something very low to keep the survival rate low. And in that way, you know, if you're sort of like competitive, and that's the sort of thing you're going to want to go for. So loaded dice is the one, and then I have some chests. So there's going to be, you know, like a dice roll, like a chest that has loaded dice in it, for example, and then you just roll the dice to open the chest, and then the result that you rolled is the number of dice that you get from that chest. And then same with gold, you know, so you just roll the dice, and if it's a 6, then you get 6 times 100, so that's like 600 gold from that chest, and that adds an extra element of play. And then I was thinking also of having like a mystery chest or something that can have a mixture of gold and dice, but also it's a chance for getting a life, and there's also a chance of what's it called? So there's going to be like gold items in the game that are worth more So there's a chance to get those as well. So for example, there's can be like a golden statue that's just worth 1,000 gold that you can just find on the way. So those are the sorts of items that I want to add into the game now. So how am I going to do this? I think I did conveniently add a level count in this script. Don't look at those variables, they look really terrible, but I'm going to change them. They're not going to be public forever. This is just an alpha build. As long as it works, I can sort all that stuff out later. I can optimize it later. Right. Was it in this one? Yeah, see, set level count. Alright, okay. For some reason I put the level count in the score, because originally I was going to have to chain based off of the level count, but now I'm probably not going to do it anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to increase the level count and then probably mod it by 10 or something. And then that way we'll know that every 10 levels guarantees an item. So let's stick with one item for now. I reckon we're just going to need a separate script for that. Let's call it item every 10. Okay, just close a random script. I just need to make sure that I'm really not using it for anything. We're setting the stuff, yeah, it's just not doing anything. So it does need to be static though, because when we reload the scene, then we want our level count to stay. I'm just putting it here because I'm copying and pasting, so just like take all that out, and that saves me typing it all later in it. So like that. Let's get rid of these. Get level count, set level count. Yeah. Sounds good, sounds good. Now we're going to need, yeah, this is probably really bad because I'm sort of making like repeats in code, but that will probably change later. I'll probably have like a dedicated game object that has all these things, sort of like a master object or something. But for now, let's just check if we first loaded it. And if we have first loaded it, we can set the level count to 0. But if not, then we just destroy the copy that we've made, and we keep the one that's always iterating, yeah? So that's pretty cool. And now we are going to want a function that gets called at every survival, so even if they have a life. So let's just say, let's just call it get item. I'm still relatively ill, but I'm getting over it. We can probably have a const, which is I don't really know what to call it at this stage, but there you go. And we can change it later to everyone. So if it's any multiple of 10, what? I'll deal with that in a second. So if it's multiple of 10, then get the item. Let's, for now, just to make sure that it works, we could increase the gold by 1,000 or something. Set current gold, here we go. Let's just set it to 5,000, and then that way we know that we've reached it. And now we're going to need a reference to the script, which I think I have in here. Score is score manager. Scoreman. How do we do that? We are going to have a start function, scoreman. Why does it have get command buffers first? Like, no one uses that in comparison. Right, so we get this component here, yeah. Now we are free to set this. Right, and now mod isn't working. But I mean, what if we just take that off? I don't think so. Why is it saying that? It cannot implicitly convert type into bool. That's because we actually need to give it a value. If classic. Yeah, so we mod it. We may as well just close that because it's being stupid. You what? Score on survival 267. What's all this about? Oh yeah, because yeah, that, yeah, okay. Because it's score. Thinking about it, we could just rename the script from score to like level control or something like that and have it all in the same thing. Because creating extra objects to reference all these other objects is kind of annoying and not very useful, computationally helpful. But, oh well, so we're going to need to make another object for now. So this is why this style of code isn't very good, because it quickly gets out of hand and you forget to make notes, and then you realize, well, I need to do a lot of rewriting. But this is just how I work, and it will all be fine in the end, because I know how I work. But for now, just take a look at all these lovely public variables and really unmanaged code. But there you go. So what was the name of the thing? It was like level something. No, it wasn't. It was item every 10. So like even the name is bad. Right. Where is current score? Alright, okay. Fair enough. Which means if we open this, yeah. Scoreman, which means we probably don't even need this because we're setting it in the thing. Great. That's survival. Just change this to that. Right, and now we want to set every 10 whenever we live. So what's the name of the function? Get item. So here we are determining the outcome. Here, if we're alive, do this, increase score. Else, spawn demon. Spawn demon is the one that handles the other thing. Nope. Increase score. What's going on? Oh, I see. Right, okay, so I basically, yeah. Gonna need it twice. Have died. What's the have died function? Right. If we don't have a life, die, otherwise like this. Increase score. We want to do it here, right? And just so we don't have to go through 10 things, let's just put it on 2. Could have put it on 1, but you know. We died on number 1, of course we did. Right. 1? No? What? Oh, okay. That is because... Where is it? We haven't set this, and we're just gonna dump it on Score Manager. Ooh, hold on. For now, yeah, just reference itself. Just we need to just see if the code works, and then we'll deal with clean code later, optimization and stuff. Right. I've never died this many times on round 1. Okay, we're alive. And we died. This is prime time during debugging, isn't it? To die every single time. Right. One more. Okay, 5,000, great. I was pretty certain it was going to work anyway, but it's always good to see that. So now we're going to need some form of array. does it go in item every 10? Possibly. I reckon if I was doing this properly, I would probably have a separate class that's items, and then have a subclass, you know, do it all professionally. But my lazy mind always kicks in, and I just think, well, it's quicker to just throw it all in the same script, and then you don't have to do all this referencing. But yeah, and it's only me working on it, to be fair. Like, if I was in a team, I would probably make it look much more maintainable. So, right, we're gonna need here, isn't it? And those two. Best way of doing this. Because we're in C#, I could make some sort of dictionary. Because the simplest way is just to make an array, since I know how many things there are. I could easily control for the memory by using an array. But then the only problem with that is it can only hold one thing, and then the method would have to figure out what to give the player at that stage. Unless I create prefabs or objects for those things, and then they have a little script that just runs.
It could be an overloaded function.
There are so many ways to do this. Right. What's going on here? What's going on here? This feels a bit wishy-washy. This is where inheritance really comes in handy, but the way I've just set it up is exactly not the way to do this. But for some reason I'm doing it anyway. Alright, okay, so we've got our items, and we're going to add them all. What is this on? Every 10. In-game items, so we can have our gold coin, our gold statue, demon's treasure, loaded die, the light of truth, life. Ooh. Whoa, what's going on? Dice chest, and the gold chest right there. Okay. So we've got all of this business. Now, we could just select one at random. So random range between. Wait, both are inclusive. I did say that, didn't it? Inclusive, yeah. So 0 to 8. And then let's just say print. We got. Yeah, well, that's because, yeah, okay. Okay, it does return mixture, great. Change this back to 2. Did we survive? We're alive. One more. Okay, we're all alive enough. What did we get? Did we get something? Let's get rid of these. We got a gold statue, way. Okay. I mean, to be fair, the only reason why I'm not, well, not the only, but one of the reasons why I'm not doing object orientation in Unity is because I learned that Unity is very component based. So what I'm going to do is have one script with just like the one function that handles like gathering items and stuff, but it's going to be spread across multiple components, like multiple objects. So they all work off the same script, which means because if I call the function on this game object, it's going to be independent from another one. You see what I mean? So I can just grab all of these, throw item acquire onto it, and then they're all just going to do their business. You know? And because it's a game object, I could also do this, get component. Eesh, it's not very. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's very rarely it gets called, so it's not too bad. No, can't see another way of doing it unless I instantiate in the start function a get component for all 8, but that's actually not as beneficial because otherwise, every time I load the level. Oh, hold on, no. Because it doesn't get destroyed on load. But it does, though, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. No, because the start function won't get called because the await function gets called first. So what's going to happen is I can have start, and I can get component item acquire. Whoop. Like this. Alright. Nah, ain't gonna work. Sorry. Kind of, it's not because there's no way of like interpreting which one we found unless we use some sort of switch case statement. But is that more beneficial? I mean, it doesn't look as nice, but I think it's going to be less intense. So we can have 8 items. And then in our start function, we can instantiate 8 of these. Now it will do this when we first ever open this game. It will make 8 of these. However, it will only be these 8 and that's it. Because then when we go down here, we just have switch, rand val. And we just do case 1 for a while, case 0, case 1, all the way down to 8. And then we just have a default. Right. I mean, it doesn't look as pretty as having, like, the one line. But this way, because we don't destroy it on load, we create these 8 items once and once only. Whereas if we did the one line in here, which references the element using the index of random values, you're creating an object every time, which can go beyond 8, and therefore less beneficial. So now we can do, what's the name of the thing? Item acquire. We haven't made it yet. Alright, okay. So in here we're gonna need what are we going to need? We need to know if, okay, we might return a value later, but let me just think. Luda. He looks cool, doesn't it? Okay. Is case. What else did we make? It was but what order did we make it? I mean, light of truth, then life. Okay. Then life. Oh, hold on a second, I've got to just take a call quickly. Alright, sorry about that. Just had a call. Where's this gold chest? Greek. Right. And then have a default. Which, to be honest, I'm not really sure what the default could possibly be. It should never be reached, to be honest. But it's always good to, like, for completeness, to have that default there. Which basically means if the tag isn't any of these, then just do something else. So what have we called it? We've called it handle item. So down here we can do like this. Item 1 to handle item, item 2 and so on. We'll just whack them all in now, like this, we'll just change it later. Yeah. And now we need to actually do something in here. So gold coin, I reckon, it's gonna just cash in straight away. It's an item, but like the whole point is just to sell it, and rather than make you get the item, go to the market, sell the item, I may as well just use it as a placeholder for a greater currency value, and then it cuts out that middleman. So I'm thinking, so 100 gold. Where is the score? Gold calculations. We ever get current gold? Great. Need to do this. Okay. Okay, so set current gold. We want to get the current gold first. Add 100. Then what we should actually do is have some ints. $10,000. Fantastic. Okay. So why am I making the constant integers? It's because basically we know what these values are going to be, and we know that they're never going to change. So it's better to just allocate constant memory, well, that's how I call it, allocate enough memory for one specific value, rather than holding a range that's signed or unsigned. Signed means you can have negative values in your integer, so you can go from minus whatever it is, 65,000, whatever, to plus that much. Or if you have an unsigned integer, then it's only positive values. So it lets you have double the amount of positives. But we don't need to commit that much memory for one value, so we just have the constant here. And the reason why we don't just add the arbitrary 100 is for two reasons. One, because when you look back on your code, you have no idea what 100 really means. You don't know what it refers to, especially if you have a very long script, that handles lots of stuff, and then you've just got the random number there. you don't really know what that means. And second of all, if you just have the 100, then you're sort of creating this variable, this value on the fly, that's also not constant, and then that can easily rack up, very small, but it racks up unnecessarily, unnecessary amounts of memory. So always always declare your values as variables beforehand. Okay, so that's why we're doing that. Loaded die, so we have to add one of these in. Since it's item acquired, this could actually be the item script. So let's have loaded count. We can have one of them. Ugh, there's so much cross-referencing that I've just done wrong. It's not wrong, it's just very fiddly. Oh well. So we got our loaded count. I think that's all we need actually, because then we can just check if it's above 1, we can use 1. Good stuff. Light of truth. We can only have 1 light of truth, I think. So what light of truth in English means, let's just bring it here, light of truth. Because in this game there's always a guaranteed survival door. So this one's going to reveal the side that's going to guarantee your survival. And because it's going to be off or on, so we can just make that a bool, to be honest. What else do we have? Life. We also only have 1 life. And if we think back to here, we have a life here. So let's just survival. Okay, that's that one done. What else is there? Dice chest and gold chest. We'll do those later. Loaded count equals what is this, how many loaded dice you have at the beginning? It's going to be 0 or something. Although, because we're going to have characters, that's going to need to be overridden. This means I should probably use inherit. Well, for now, because we don't have any characters, let's just call it 0 and make a mental note. Yeah. Light of truth is also going to be false at the start. And life manager could also do that. And I have a phone call, so 1 moment. Okay, but it appears that I have been summoned to go to Waitrose to shop. So this life manager, yeah, I don't have a get function for that, I don't think. Quickly go to survival. Life is true, but is life private? Yeah. Do we have a get life? No, we don't. Pretty sure we don't. Nope. Just quickly add it in somewhere. All the way down here. Public. What is it? Bool. Like that. Simple. Okay. Well, normally the life should be false at the start, but because we are debugging, we need a gap. We need a set one. Sorry. Yeah, since we're debugging, we need it to be true. Otherwise, the game is just going to quit every time we die. Okay, so you find one loaded die, so loaded count will be plus equals 1. Light of truth, if you find a light of truth, just set that to true. Life is going to be, yeah, just set that to true. And these chests, I have no idea, we'll come back to that. But, so on paper, on code, we've added in the items, and so far it'll be every 10 you get one guaranteed, but there's also going to be like a % chance that you can just find one as you're walking through. Be very low though in comparison, just to keep it, you know, quite cool. But I'm going to have to cut the stream short there, but we've added quite some interesting stuff, and I'll make a blog post related to this. But yeah, so cheers for watching and everything, and see you next time.